There comes a time in every young person's life when they realize that they're about to embark on something that will define their future. For many here today, this is that moment.
The start of the race will be a very, very special day for us because we'll have worked for this for so many months, and then we're finally there with the car and you can see it taking off, and I just can't wait to get started on this race, so I'm very excited.
The launch of the World Solar Challenge in Australia is moments away. These cars will leave downtown Darwin and travel all the way across the continent to the city of Adelaide, covering almost 1,900 miles powered only by light. Whoever arrives first will be crowned champion, and they'll garner the attention of the engineering world. Teams will depart in 30-second intervals, in an order determined by their qualifying laps yesterday. Top Dutch from the Netherlands leads the start line. Any team that wants to win this race will have to overtake them to do it. Top Dutch gets the final countdown. And the World Solar Challenge is underway.
As the first car takes to the streets.
Next up, Sonnenwagen from Germany. Then Kogakuen from Japan. Agoria from Belgium. And Twente from the Netherlands. Each team has a large convoy surrounding their solar car. There's a lead car keeping an eye on everything directly in front of the solar car. There's also a chase car directly behind. It houses what teams call the brains of the operation, tracking all the data like energy in and out, battery readings, and the car's performance. They also track all aspects of the weather, so it can be factored into strategy adjustments. Most decision-making is done here in the brains car.
That's also a good tip. Look at the shadow of the truck.
Drive in the sun.
Yeah, exactly.
That's how it should be.
Okay, baan is vrij.
Currently moving out, following volunteers' directions.
Our car just started moving and we're about to catch up with it at the start line. Feeling good. Obviously nervous, but I mean, that should be natural at this point, I think.
Stanford had a rough time making it through qualifying, and they're happy to finally be getting into the race.
Yep. Okay. Car shut off. Yeah. Yep. It's powering back on. Car keeps shutting off. I'm like at the starting line. It's back. I have started the race, I guess.
Stanford's underway, and their convoy is anxious to join their car.
Here, this is us. This is us. Go over there, I believe. Over there, over there. All right. Here we go.
What should my speed be?
Cruise on manual throttle until we exit the city. You should be holding 40 kph. Time 40.
Solar car copies.
Before the lead teams have even cleared the outskirts of Darwin, they're already jockeying for position.
The traffic lights played in our favor, and we immediately overtook Kogakuen because he had to stop for red lights.
Getting a good position for today's start is crucial. These guys want to be out in front.
That's my boy.
Yeah.
In vehicles behind the solar cars, there are a lot of department specialists, each in charge of specific components of the race and car. Mechanics, electricians, the works. And there are entire crews in charge of camping and food for everyone. These teams are big.
In total, with the solar car, we're with 11 cars. Yeah, it's a pretty big logistical operation.
So the total group of people traveling with us from Darwin to Adelaide are 49. We have one amazing solar car and then 11 petrol cars which follow.
I have to say, in order to prove the tech in these ridiculously efficient cars, they're leaving a pretty big carbon footprint across the outback. I guess that's the price you pay for progress.
There are challenges, there are risks in participating. So as a pilot, you really need to trust on your friends, on what they design, on what they build, and even yourself. So with the team, with the drivers, with everyone, we try to minimize the risks, but you never know.
As teams forge their way through the Northern Territory, the sun is intense, providing as much energy as a solar race could ask for. But the trade-off is, it's really hot. Like humid and 100 hot. Due to weight and massive power consumption, these cars don't have any kind of air conditioning. And I really wonder how these drivers are gonna hold up.
Power cycle completed. Back to normal.
Solar energy is absolutely amazing when the sun is shining. But to be useful at all times requires battery storage. These solar car teams are advancing storage tech out of necessity. The race limits them to only 20 kilograms of battery weight. That's pretty small. For that reason, the battery of choice for most teams is lithium-ion. It has a very high energy density, meaning it stores more energy in less space. That's why we use them everywhere, from our smartphones to drones to cutting-edge solar cars. However, this reactivity also makes them volatile. Inside, a very thin semi-permeable layer separates the positive and negative electrodes. If that barrier is damaged, a cascade of reactions could cause the highly flammable electrolyte to expand and combust. So while these batteries are great for storage, any breach or overtaxing can cause a 4-alarm fire. Stanford has cleared Darwin and they're running at highway speeds. But only 6 miles in, something isn't right.
I smell, not good smell.
Solar car, pull to the left side of the road, over. Now, pull to the left side of the road. Pull to the left side of the road and get out of the car.
I could hear, you need to pull over right now, get out of the car. And I'm like, oh no, this is not good.
We should be able to see it. It's okay, Corey.
With just seconds to spare, Stanford's driver Julia is safely out of the car. Her teammates have wrestled the overheated battery out of the vehicle as well, and things are going downhill fast.
Guys, move away from the truck. Everyone away from the
I'm sorry. It's okay, it's okay. I'm so glad you're okay.
You could just tell immediately something was like severely wrong. The next call we hear is battery fire. Everyone needs to come back now. And that was awful. I don't think I'm ever gonna forget that moment ever in my entire life.
Okay, smoke's toxic, stay out.
Stanford's World Solar Challenge is over. Almost faster than it began.
That's sad, man.
they will have to tow their car all the way to the finish in Adelaide.
We think that there may have been some changes that we had to make to the car to pass the rules that could have caused an issue. There could have been something with what we did on our pack that was an issue. Get the driver out safely, which is the most important thing. I think everyone's going to be sad about the car for a while. You just gotta figure out a way through it and move forward. And that's, I guess, what we also have to do as a group.
Back on the road, Twente is still on a tear, but so is Team Agoria. They have each passed 2 cars coming out of Darwin and are just behind Top Dutch, who is barely hanging on to their lead. Twente is keeping up a blistering pace. The question is, can they catch the leader on the very first day? This desolate place is Katherine, the site of the first control stop, where all of the solar cars must come in here and stop for a half hour. I'm excited to see them after this significant part of the journey. Control stops are mandatory mostly for driver safety. They force teams to change out their drivers, and they also give convoy vehicles a chance to refuel. Katherine is only the first of 9 control stops along the way. And much to my surprise, first in is Twente. Remarkable. They started 5 cars back in Darwin, and they've already pulled into the lead. These control stops are really interesting because the drivers have to pull in here and they can make any adjustments they want to the vehicle as they get out, but once they leave the car, they cannot come back to it. No one from the team is allowed to touch the car for a half hour. It's gonna charge up just from the sun, and then if it's all good, the driver hops back in and they'll take off down the road. Each driver must make their way to the official's tent and trigger a button, starting their half hour. Nicely done, congratulations.
Oh, we didn't dare to hope this.
Tired.
This stress is going to take some life, some years.
In past events, some teams would use the control points as pit stops to make repairs and modifications while off the clock. To force teams to build more robust cars, race officials created the no-touch rule, forcing teams to implement fixes on their own time or not at all. So what I think is interesting is obviously this race is about harnessing the power of sunlight. But when you start in Darwin, you have a full battery.
Yes.
So one strategy that one could employ for day one would be to drain that battery and get out fast ahead of everyone. So I guess what I'm curious about is how much energy is left in your battery.
I'm not going to say anything about that, I'm sorry. It is true, however, that we start with a full battery, and of course the remaining 4 days we can only charge with solar energy.
It's on day one where this car could be bluffing, could be using a lot of battery, but we won't know until a few more days whether it's really running on sort of a neutral energy balance. Is there a risk of going out too hard on day one? Like, is it possible to drain that battery too much?
Yeah, of course, there's always a risk. I mean, there's also a risk if you don't drive too fast on day one, that you are way back. But there's also, of course, also a risk if you drive too hard, yes.
Next in is Top Dutch, who have not been able to hold on to their starting position.
Almost 5 minutes.
So we're talking like 25 minutes behind.
They're 25 minutes behind.
And then Agoria. It is a very hot day. Being a driver in this car, the temperature in that cockpit is at least 10 degrees hotter than it is out here, and it is roasting today. This is due to the same process that traps heat in our atmosphere and warms our planet, the greenhouse effect. As light energy from the sun enters the cockpit as short visible waves, some reflect back out, but some are absorbed by surfaces in the interior. This absorbed energy is radiated off the surfaces as infrared light, of much longer wavelength than visible light. And unlike the visible light, it cannot pass through the canopy. That trapped energy can cause temperatures inside to increase rapidly and dangerously, particularly when openings for fresh air have been virtually eliminated to minimize drag. Although the drivers carry bladders of water, on the hottest days it's hard to replenish their bodies fast enough.
So important to stay hydrated.
Yeah, it was clearly heat exhaustion. So we got him rehydrated and we put him in a support vehicle in the air conditioning, and I think he's fine now. But my concern is going forward. So we're monitoring the temperature inside the cockpit, and it keeps rising. This car seems to heat up a lot quicker than other cars. I think it's because it's been aerodynamically sealed so perfectly. There is an air intake in a tube, but I think the car is just so seamless that temperatures build up and don't really have a way of cooling down.
As the teams complete their control stops, the midday temperatures continue to rise, so they swap in fresh drivers and press on. But it isn't long until the Outback turns up the heat some more. Bushfires plague the Outback this time of year, and climate change has only made them worse. And when the winds kick up, blowing embers and smoke can make driving dangerous in a hurry. Several teams have managed to get through, but Tokai has the unfortunate timing of arriving just as a burning tree falls in their path. Solar cars are not built for off-roading. Imagine a Ferrari on a hiking trail. But Tokai isn't left with much of a choice.
We drive out of the road, so suddenly our electrical system was shut down.
These solar cars are handmade, and the electrical systems are delicate. So any amount of jostling can throw things offline. This could be a real problem. Team Tokai jumps into action, but after diagnosing that nothing is seriously wrong, they're able to quickly get back on the road.
That's critical issue, but our team is very strong, so that problem we solved. No problem.
Up ahead, Agoria is collecting some intel that just might help inform their strategy. Part of Agoria's convoy is an actual spy car, traveling miles ahead to watch and eavesdrop on the competition. That may sound sneaky, but most of the big teams do it. And it's fair game.
Oh, top Dutch. The time gap is 2 minutes with the third car.
Agoria's spy team will report back not only the speed of the lead cars, but also the time between them.
It's pretty chill. For like the guys in the car convoy, it isn't. Whoa. Japanese team, really beautiful car. Michigan komt eraan. Michigan doesn't wave.
Teams are allowed to be on the road from 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. So when the clock strikes 5, every solar car must pull off the road immediately and camp overnight. Agoria, Top Dutch, and Vattenfall have all ended their road time. And oddly, they're camping in the same spot.
At the end of the day, we want to find a camping spot. It is as stressful as the other part because a good night's sleep is super important, and a nice workshop is nice for the technical guys, so we're happy to be here. And yeah, super cool that we're here together with 2 other teams. We know them very well, and yeah, maybe we can spy a little bit tonight.
These teams landing near the same place at day's end is a testament to just how tightly engineered these cars are. By tilting their solar arrays to an optimum angle, it's their chance to collect a few more precious joules of energy from the setting sun, while the cars are drawing no power.
The evening charges, they are pretty good. They account for overall over the race, 20 or 30% of the energy that you get throughout the track will be coming from evenings and morning charges.
Wow.
So it's significant.
Huh. At the end of day 1, running neck and neck in 2nd, 3rd, and 4th is Top Dutch, Vattenfall, and Agoria. Not far behind is Michigan, Sonnenwagen, Tokai, and Western Sydney. One thing Team Twente won't have to worry about? Neighbors. They are camping way out in front by themselves, about 30 kilometers ahead of the pack.
Hi.
How are you enjoying the flies?
Yeah, the flies are bad, but nothing can ruin my day anymore.
It's been a good one.
It's been a very good one, yeah.
Congratulations on a good day.
Yeah, thank you very much. It's been wonderful.
The car performed well?
Yeah, definitely. We're really amazed about performance. So yeah, we like to keep a strategy, and somehow that puts us in first place. So we're very happy with that.
You say strategy, but this car has basically been going as fast as possible for the whole race.
Yeah, but our models and our prediction says we can run this speed. So yeah, that's what we're going to do.
As the hot Australian sun sets on the first day of the World Solar Challenge, the teams prepare for a humid and buggy night in tents.
You're looking at gigantic outback ants that will probably kill you if they bite you.
The one common thought on everyone's mind is, what's going on with Twente? How have they pulled this big of a lead on day 1? The other teams must be hoping that they have blown through too much of their battery and will pay the price. Is the race over already?
I don't think it is. Either Twente is up to something very brilliant, or they're making the wrong choices, I guess.
The wrong strategic choice, yeah.
We are ready!
Tomorrow will tell the tale.